Today is May 10th, 2021. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. We'll go down our release status. I think, let's see, going to 121. I think we have released the resizer. Is that right?
Yeah, we release the resizer.
Cool. So I think we're done with the sidecars. And I think the only thing remaining now is to update the host path driver with all the new sidecars. And then we should be good to go. Let's see. Let me mark that as done. And then I think, is Ben around? Okay. We will skip the populator update for now. So the next major milestone is 122. We have kept deadlines this Thursday. So let's see where we are with our KEPs. First up is Windows.
So basically, I'm addressing the comments and should be able to update like soon after this meeting.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. And
Sure.
let's see. I assigned Elena to do the PRR review. We'll see if she doesn't respond by today. We'll have to ping her so that we
The
get enough time.
the PRR means
The production readiness review. It's
okay.
it's this section with all the like things about metrics and upgrade and rollback questions.
Okay.
There's actually like a PRR group of reviewers that will go and take a look at it.
Oh, okay, good.
Cool. All right. I think next is CSI service account token. I think this is also should be out. There's a PR out. I think it's just waiting on PRR review. Actually, I think PRR review is done. But there's just one question on scalability tests. All right. Next up is volume populators. Is Ben around? Okay. Guess we'll sync up offline on the status of that. CSI migration doesn't need anything. Node shutdown.
I need to update the cap.
Okay. I think it's also, since we're targeting provisional, I think we also don't need to get it done by Thursday.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. Next up is access mode. I think I just approved the KEP. It's just waiting on PRR review. Next up is recovery from expansion.
Yeah, so I updated I opened the updated enhancement, updated it. I think the basic idea is pretty simple. I don't know, like if we want to talk now, but I just want to give a brief. So basically, what this design says is that we are going to store the the users like PVC expansion request in the allocated pvc.status.allocated resources, same to pod resizing enhancement. When the resize controller starts expanding, before expanding it will store it, and it will only give the quota back to the user. Like if user increases to 100 terabyte and then reduces to 100 GB, then it will use the get volume CSI RPC call, and if it is available and if it returns a value that is less than, or that is basically less than what user is requesting, then it will allow the pvc.status.allocated resources to be changed, to be set to a lower value, and the quota will be calculated by max of pvc.spec.resources and pvc.status.allocated resources. So that's the gist of it. And I want to, on Friday we were supposed to have a call, but we did not. I got pretty busy with things, so yeah.
Okay. Should we try to have a call today or tomorrow to
Yeah,
iron this out?
today works for me. Like, yeah, after this call, or like, yeah,
Okay.
I think after the
Um,
call is the
the
Cozy
cozy.
has a meeting right after
Yeah,
this.
right, right. Yeah.
okay. I am actually pretty full today. But like I don't need to be in this meeting if you want to continue discussion.
Okay, I mean about the expansion thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll schedule something. Like, Zing, you are there in the cozy meeting?
No.
Yeah,
Cozy meeting. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm in the cozy meeting.
Okay, so okay, those, like Michelle, it sounds like you can spare few cycles for the reside recovery if I do it. If you're not in the cozy meeting, or
Oh no, my meetings are pretty full today.
okay,
But yeah, I think if other people can make the time, then go ahead and meet, and I can just read the cap or read a document.
I'll schedule and talk to Jing and Zing, and see if yeah, and ping ban find it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. So we're scheduling design discussion today, tomorrow. Okay. Next up is FS group. I think looks like the kept updating this merged. I saw a release team note saying that there's a couple more sections of the kept that they want to get filled out.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm working on it.
Cool. Thank you. Not targeting. Okay. The allow volume expansion. I think the conclusion is we don't need a separate cap. Is that right?
Yeah, but we have to update existing cap, like the recover, sorry, the expansion, volume expansion cap. And
Do you think you'll have time to do that?
I can try, but that cap is very old format, so it's like. But I was speaking with Jan offline, and that cap needs to be updated anyways, because like if it has to go GA. So I will try to find some time. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next up is the PV honoring the deletion policy cap.
Yeah, that's being reviewed. So myself and what is her name, Elena, she's doing the PR review. Yang, can you take a look?
Yes, I will take a look.
Okay. Should I put a link in your Slack channel? Or you know what?
Yeah, it would be nice.
Okay. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, thank you.
Cool. Let's see. Next up is the default file mode for atomic volumes.
So this one, we actually
Um,
talked about this in the last week's SIG meeting. I think Herman, you have some concerns with that, right? So we actually talked about just not to do alpha, just to design.
Yeah, I mean, at the, like if you're going to do what we did for projected service account token, sorry, projected service account, I think then at least the cap needs to be updated. Like, and I haven't had any, we haven't had any update on the cap. So
I have already removed from the tracking sheet. Just
yeah,
after
that's
our
yeah,
meeting.
yep,
Right?
yeah,
Okay, so
that
we're
sounds
not doing
fine.
alpha. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
okay. Sounds good to me. All right. Any other enhancements, 122 enhancements that we need to track? All right. Moving on to miscellaneous or PRs that need attention. We have a cap out here. Okay, this is the recover from resizing. So has this been updated yet, or do we still need discussion on it?
Update is in what sense? Like it's been updated, but
Okay. Is this ready for review, or do we need more discussion?
no, this is absolutely ready for review.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think like the design meeting that I'm planning to call it just basically will outline what already kept here that this PR already presents. There's nothing like, yeah, I think Jan took a look. It seemed, Jan, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds sensible overall to you, right? At a high level. Obviously, you haven't had a chance to like nitty gritty, but
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Moving on to miscellaneous topics.
Yeah, so
Xing, you
I-
have a
Yeah, so I just learned about this last week. So I thought I want to bring it up because we talked about having E2E test in our sidecar repos, but we don't really have like a test framework. This is actually a initiative from SIG testing. So Vlad has been working on this. So I think the initial motivation behind this is that there are some other, some other repos, out of tree repos wanted to testing, but then it has to depend on like Kubernetes test framework. It's they have the same kind of challenges. So that's the reason that they want to have this separate independent E2E test framework. So I think we should take a look, and maybe we should also help with this effort. Maybe eventually can also depend on this.
I
you take a look?
I have looked at this a little bit,
Okay.
and while conceptually, it's certainly a nice idea to start from a clean slate and try to come up with something that is perhaps better than the existing framework. My main concern is that this will not replace the in-tree end-to-end framework anytime soon. That means if we start using this framework, we basically have to learn and use two different APIs. One for out-of-tree components and a different API for in-tree tests. And none of the work that we've done with test suites, storage test suites in-tree will be reusable outside in a CSI driver, for example. And for me, that is pretty much from a purely pragmatic point of view, a showstopper. I don't want to work on two different frameworks for end-to-end testing.
Right. So, but we can't directly use the, but what is the alternative? I was thinking about the alternative.
The alternative is to just vendor KK.
Vendor, yeah, that's
like we've done before, and it is a solved problem. I know that you're not supposed to do it, but it works. And API stability with the new framework will be, and that's a prediction. We don't know yet, but I think from the beginning, this new E2E framework will not have a stable API either. So we are not worse off whether you vendor this E2E framework or KK framework. In the end, you're still depending on something with no stable API, and when you update, you need to be aware that things may break, and you have to adapt your usage of those APIs. So I don't see the fundamental problem with vendoring Kubernetes. The dependency issue was a big problem at the beginning, that test E2E framework in Kubernetes used to depend on a lot of things, but I fixed that already 2 years ago. Now, when you pull it in, it's a fairly reasonable set of things that it depends on, mostly client Go and very few other things. So it's not that bad. It's really just this conceptual issue that you're pulling something that you're not supposed to pull. And the vendoring needs this go get hack of adding replace statements, because otherwise you can't pull in Kubernetes, or you can't pull in KK and not get these errors about invalid version number. But that, as I said, that is a solved problem.
Well, I think we should still keep an eye on this then. If this is what SIG testing want to do in the long run, I mean, in long run, this is probably the right way to do. Maybe right now we can, no, it's not ready. We can't use it immediately. But I think it was to taking a look.
Does Kube Builder have some E2E framework as well? Just wondering.
Kube Builder.
Or control runtime, sorry.
Which time? I'm sorry, which one? I'm sorry,
the controller runtime, the
controller
library.
That I don't know. I don't know if they have a E2E framework.
Yeah, for building operators. I wonder because
But anyway, this is SIG testing's project. So I mean, I think in the long run, at least maybe this is the way to go. I don't know right now. I think right now we don't really have any E2E test outside, right, in our sidecar yet. Just they came up several times, but so far the tests are still in tree. Okay, I just want to bring this up.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I think we should definitely keep our eye on this, and you know, if it picks up more steam, then yeah, we should definitely consider and see if the benefits are good. I think it sounds like right now it's still in a pretty early state, so maybe it might not be suitable for switching to at that point. All right. Any other topics? Alrighty
CSI,
then. Oh,
sorry. For the CSI driver host path update, I think it looks like we are now close to merging the 2 pending PRs that I had. That means I'll add one more for the sidecar version update, and I think then we would be ready for a release. Are there any other? I think I missed that part in the meeting. Do we have any other sidecar patch releases up in the pipeline, or are we all done with those?
let's see.
So we may need to do another release of the snapshotter. There's a bug. So
does it mean that we should wait with the host path update, or should we do one now?
Yes, because I suspect snapshotter is completely broken right now.
Okay.
And our tests are not catching it, which is another issue.
Yeah, we've discussed that on Slack.
Yeah, because it's only, I think it's only testing like, it doesn't test the canary version. Basically just test 1.20 is the latest that is testing there. Yeah, so there is a fix right now. I see it's still not passing test. So that's why it's not in yet.
Is it the 121 tests?
Yeah.
I think those are expected to fail. Is that right, Patrick?
121 is supposed to fail. 120 should work.
120 works. Okay, I just want to make sure that we are actually running some other tests that catches this because
Yeah, but
120
from
it was passing this
what I
test
heard,
before.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I'm not sure whether even on, well, I think the whole PROW setup for testing snapshots is a bit suspicious to me right now. It looked like it tried to replace the fixed version of a snapshot with Canary, and it's not doing that properly because it didn't replace the image. And I'm not
But if it's
sure.
but if we're only testing 1.20, then it's not going to pick up the Canary, I think. So I have to
Canary testing is done on Kubernetes master.
Right, but we're not. But the default CI doesn't test the master one. So yeah, I will trigger a few other CIs and see. This right now by default is just testing 1.20, 1.20. That's all. I think.
I'm not
because
sure.
Otherwise, it should be testing I know there is some checks there to see if it's a Canary master or something, but we are not currently. Those tests are not run like automatically. That's what I'm trying to say. Unless we go trigger those.
No, if you do a change in the snapshot repo, it should replace the image with what is in the current repository. That's always the case. So whenever you do a change in a component, it will try to replace the current deployments of the content of the current of the image in the current deployments with what you have built locally in the Proud job. So that's independent of the Canary thing. This always happens for the current component that you are modifying in a PR. Otherwise, it would be completely pointless to test a PR if you always use the latest stable version. So the pull jobs, they should update the sidecars. What I'm saying is that for the snapshotter, we do have this additional controller, and I'm not sure whether the Proud job is doing that part correctly.
Oh, for the controller, okay.
And for the Canary,
okay, we'll take a look. Because there is this. You're talking about the controller part, the snapshot controller part, not the sidecars.
Yeah. And the other problem with the Canary jobs is those run, but the code that replaces the images or that is replacing the fixed version in our deployment files didn't properly do it for the image version. So the Canary job should have caught that, but it didn't because it's buggy. The Brow SH job, the script needs to be updated for snapshot to do this. And I've not looked at this code not looked at this in detail when it was added, but I just saw that it replaces the fixed version with a Canary or master YAML files. But as Michelle pointed out on Slack, that is not sufficient. It also needs to change the content of that file, and I think that is missing at the moment.
So I thought that part that was there, but somehow maybe something's missing. I remember there was some code changes that actually go replace those files replace the images in the YAML file. Actually, there was some code, but for some reason it's not working.
I've not checked it, but according to Michelle, it's not working. So I guess we should open an issue, and someone needs to look into this because it clearly wasn't caught. So which implies that it's not working as expected.
Okay, I guess Shing, do you want to open an issue for that? We can maybe separately investigate this. We can separately investigate what's going on with the Prow setup.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Thank you. Any other topics? All right, then we'll end for today. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.